Hello. Hey, 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 hey. Hey. Oh, I didn't know we had these different filter options. That's different. Well, hey, this is me, raw, no makeup, no earrings, hair is not done. This is the raw version of postpartum. I wanted to come on glammed up, I guess, and body, energy, and authenticity said, no, thank you. So, oh my. You know when you don't take pictures in a while and then when you do finally get on camera, you just, I feel like I look so different. I'm gonna try not to look at the aesthetics much, but this is me and Bean. We are here live for our 5th week of being a mom and being a baby. We are here to share what mom life has been like for myself, and I want to share a few new mom tips as a doula that I've incorporated for myself, but I think other people can possibly use. So here's what I'm going to talk about. One, the new adjustment of being a mom, a little bit about my birth experience, and adjusting to my partner going back to work. So this is day 2 of me being by myself with just baby. And share some wins of me being a mom. Wins that I think, contribute from my environment and just a little bit of my postpartum. So feel free to ask questions. I'm just going to speak from the heart. And I just want, this is my outlet to express. I feel like since I've been by myself the past 2 days, I'm not talking as much until my partner gets home. So this is nice to just, have an outlet to speak. And I do speak to baby, but, it's like cute little simple words and statements. So, about my birth experience, I have had the best birth team in America, I feel like. Like, I had no complications, no vaginal tears. My baby came within 2 hours of active labor. Hey, I my water, it broke, but it broke in like small stages. Hi. So my birth experience was completely beautiful. I manifested it in having my baby at a birth center instead of a hospital. I also feel like I was just blessed to not have one but 4 midwives assisting the birth. And I did this fully natural. I didn't ask for epidural. I didn't ask for any pain medication. My mom was there, my partner was there, and I was 4 minutes away from the birth center. So we are 5 weeks in. And this is my first time showing face, being completely raw and authentic. And I would just have to say, anybody who is currently pregnant in their 3rd trimester, this is a doula tip. As soon as you start feeling contractions, start timing them, because once they become 1 minute to 5 minutes apart, you want to make your way over to the birth center or the hospital. Now, for myself, my water broke at, let's just say, somewhere between 3 or 4 in the morning. It wasn't like a big gush. Thank you. I look really good in the wall. In the raw, yes, thank you. And I am going to be selling my milk. I do have some milk currently. Not colostrum though. That's for baby. But I do have milk, and I do plan on selling it. So if you want to know how I'm going to do that process, subscribe to the tribe. I can't wait to share that. But back to the birth story. So when my water broke, I wasn't sure if it was like a real leak or was it just like me being sexually excited. So maybe around 5, I got some more leakages and I was leaking through my clothes. And I was like, okay, it's time to head closer to the birth center. My partner was going to go to work, and I checked in with my birth team via text message, and I'm like, hey, I think my water broke. I'm leaking. And the more I started leaking and I started getting a bloody show, I for sure knew that I was about to go into labor that day. So me and my partner, we went to my mom's house, which is closer to the birth center. And let's see what she said. Have I ever tried making coffee out of it, out of my breast milk? No, but I think my partner would enjoy it. Putting like my milk in his coffee. I think he would. I haven't had any coffee since last year November when I was in Bali. But I will say that once I made it to my mom's house around 6:45, I'm like, "Hey, mommy, I think today's the day." And so she woke up, and from 7 in the morning to like 12 p.m., because the midwife said they'll be ready to see me at 12 and to also follow my contractions. From 7 to 12, me, partner, and my mom, we were watching Kendrick Lamar's Pop Out on YouTube, the concert that he had on Juneteenth. So I'm dancing, I'm moving around. I'm like, if these are contractions, I got this in the bag, because everybody's birth experience is different, right? Some people have heavy contractions, some people breathe through it, some people don't scream. So I had like a lot, really light contractions, in my opinion. And in between watching the concert, I also was in and out of the bathtub. And that's how I also knew I was going into labor, because that's what was soothing me the most, being in a bathtub. And at 12, I went to Kindred Space LA. I saw my midwife, Kim, and she was like, oh, honey, you look fine. Like, you don't look like you're in labor at all. Since you're down the street, come back when you feel more contractions. I'm like, come back? I didn't know they sent people back. So it's like as soon as I came back to my mom's house, the contractions sped up. Like, they were like a minute to 3 minutes apart. And I ended up getting back in the tub. And at first it was like, okay, I feel it. I feel like my stomach's getting lower. I feel my uterus contracting. But it didn't get intense until like maybe 30 minutes in. And I was like, oh no, call them back. Like, I have to go back to the birth center because this baby is going to come. So we ended up calling. We went FaceTime, and they're like, oh yeah, she's in for real labor. Bring her back. It was so hard for me to get out the house. At one point, I was like, call them, because I don't think I'm going to make it to the birth center. Mind you, the birth center is only 4 minutes away. And I did not want to have one of those car births. Like, nothing wrong with a car birth, but I wanted to be somewhere comfortable. But it took me like 20 minutes to get out of the house. We finally made it to the birth center at I think, let's just say 105, 110. And I was so hysterical. I'm like, get me out the car. Why is it taking so long to park? I couldn't get out the car at one point. And the name of baby, her nickname is Bean, so you can call her Bean. When I found out I was pregnant, she was the size of a lima bean, so we call her Bean. And we went into the room where I wanted to give birth, and I was not greeted by one of my midwives, but 4 of them. So one of the midwives, she was new, and I didn't mind her viewing the birth, but when I say it was so many cuss words that I flew left and right, and I started on all 4s, and I'm just gonna say for that, the next 2 hours was just magical. Like, I felt myself going in and out of this realm. It was a few times the midwives had to call me back to the present time. There was a few times where I just felt so sleepy that I kind of just passed out. It was times where I like questioned my body, like, I'm really doing this. I am really pushing a baby out of me, and I don't know if I have enough energy to keep up with all of this. And there was times where I just felt like, I'm just tired. I don't want to push. I just want to sleep. Um, I just want everybody to leave me alone. But it was so encouraging to have my mom there, to have my partner there, to have 4 midwives, because it's not usual that you'll have 4, maybe 1, maybe 2, but not 4. So I just felt completely supportive, and I got the water birth that I wanted. I didn't get to use the stool or the cloth where you bear down on and push. Um, and the experience was amazing. So from then to now, I feel like I've cried almost every day. At least 89% of the 5 weeks I have been crying good tears from, realizing I am a mother. I have been initiated into a new realm, and after having miscarriages and finally getting this rainbow baby, it's just been so overwhelming to the point that I just feel an illumination of happiness that could never be compared to anything else. And so this entire time I've been taking my time. Thank you so much. I've been taking my time. I haven't been on social media. I've been present. I've been stepping more into my feminine energy. I have been listening to my body. I've been bonding with my baby. I have been completely selfish with myself and being catered to, which every mother should be. And I know there's moms. At first I felt bad because I instantly put my business down. I instantly stopped responding to people on my phone. I was putting me first and was doing that unapologetically. And I feel like at times, like when we're in this hustle and bustle of this work culture, this hustle culture, we tend to put everything before us. And yes, we do serve others, but if I can't serve myself to the highest degree, how am I going to be a leader to others? So at first I felt bad for putting my business down, for not responding to emails, for being selfish, but this is my time. I am in postpartum. It is about me and baby, and if I can't get any additional emotional support, or just anything else, like I don't have time for it. Like I feel like my complete life has transitioned to taking honor in this being and being here for her. So yes, I am a businesswoman. I'm a serial entrepreneur. My niche is in brand strategy and hosting events, as well as being a masterclass curator. So I teach people how to create masterclasses, but I also create my own in different niches. So how to turn your hobby into a hustle. What else have I done? How to manifest your best life. How to build your masterclass. And I have a few on like grants, how to write a grant, my steps to getting over 10K in grant money. The list goes on. The list goes on. Feel free to follow me on Positive Ashley. My page was hacked, so I have to rebuild everything. But I am a businesswoman. But now I'm a mom, and it's going to be different weighing those things. So now that I'm in 5 weeks, it has not been the easiest. My little bean ended up getting jaundice a week after her birth. So we were in the NICU, and that was the most post-traumatic stress that I've had since delivering and like my entire pregnancy. And that was just so heavy, being in the NICU for that long and being I wasn't apart from my baby, which is good because I'm solely breastfeeding. So I did give that that privilege, which sucks that some parents are kicked out of the NICU because they're not breastfeeding. Sad. Just sad. I just have to give a moment for that. And I'm positive Ashley, so I have to stay positive. And because I was with my baby, I was praying with her around the clock. I was still feeding her, and I had a nice support team at the hospital. We were able to leave after 36 hours, but we came back the next day, and her bilirubin was great. But it was an emotional toll on me, which affected my lactation, which affected my sleep. We already know postpartum, you don't really get a lot of sleep, but my sleep was truly effed up. So that made me a little depressed. I felt like I was starting to spiral down into postpartum depression. Even though I wasn't depressed, it felt like I was spiraling down to that point of just feeling sad and feeling overwhelmed, and I'm trying to feed my kid, but I'm not producing enough milk for my baby. So it was irritating. But my lactation consultants, I had two, they gave me some tips. They reinstilled me with the instructions that I needed to get my weight back up, and we got baby feeding. And one thing that changed the game for feeding, because my baby was born 5 pounds 14 ounces. That's pretty small. It was borderline preemie weight, but because she wasn't 5 pounds, she wasn't considered a preemie. Um, but because she was so small, her mouth is small. And, you know, I don't know if you can see my jugs, but my jugs be jugging. And when it comes to latching, her mouth wasn't big enough to latch over my areola. So one thing that changed the game for me when it came to breastfeeding was a nipple shield. I don't have it next to me. I might do another video to show what it looks like, but it was a very, very big game changer when it came to breastfeeding, especially teaching my baby how to relatch after we got out of the NICU. Um, so that was a great win. And because she was little, like the goal was to just get her weight up. Get her weight up, get her weight up. It's common that babies lose weight within 1 to 2 weeks of them being born. And so we didn't want her to get close to the 5 pounds. And with me not being able to produce enough milk, like I was definitely battling with that. So in between that, I had some therapy sessions. I don't really think they helped much. And I can talk about that on a separate level, but this is a new therapist I'm working with, and it just feels like as we're dating each other, I'm not feeling the dates. Like I'm not feeling one to go back out with her again. We have a session today, and I said I'll determine whether I want to keep seeing her or ask for someone else, because in my postpartum, I want to feel the right type of support. And as a therapist myself, I know what kind of support that I need, and I know what kind of person I want to date in the therapy world. So that's that. But based on the weight from when she was born, 5 pounds 14 ounces, to our postpartum follow-up appointment on Monday, she weighed 7 pounds 11 ounces. Yay, Bean, you are growing. And it's so great to know that, you know, she's growing. It really fulfills me a lot. She's about to hit 8 pounds. I feel like maybe next week or the week after. And I'm just so excited about that, because I was worried about that a lot. Like, how long is it going to take for her to grow? Am I feeding her enough? Because bottle versus boob, we can't see how many ounces we're putting into our babies. And now I'm to the point where I'm able to store more milk. I used like all of my stored milk during NICU, because after I realized I was sleep deprived, I was like, you know, I can't, it's hard to be up every 2 to 3 hours to feed. So I did switch to the bottle, which made it a little bit hard to relatch after. I don't regret it, but it definitely has helped. But oh, that is a win. That is a win. And so now, 2 days later, that was Monday, 2 days later, I am by myself. My partner went back to work, so I've been by myself with baby, and it hasn't been bad. I feel like I'm on a good sleep cycle now. I try to sleep when she sleeps. Like, of course, now I'm not asleep, but I got a nice chunk of sleep this morning, and At first I felt kind of alone, because my partner's gone for about 12 hours of the day. And when you're just by yourself, like I'm used to being by myself and alone, I actually prefer isolation sometimes. But with a baby, and when you want to get other things done, when you want to get other things done, it's just hard to kind of balance that all. Like for example, yesterday I was trying to cook a meal before he got home, and baby started waking up, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to cook, I'm trying to feed her, I'm trying to make her stop crying, and I just feel like I'm all over the place. And I was just like, I wish I had some help. So it wasn't bad, and it's only the second day. But I do feel like coming soon. Hi for everybody tuning in. For I feel like soon I will start either going to my mom's house or my grandma's house for extra support. Like today, I would like to go get some like household items, but she's not ready to go in stores or be around people. So that's something where I'm like, oh snap, I wish I was able to go do this, but I can't. I could do like Walmart delivery, I suppose. Yeah, I guess I could do that, huh? Um, I've only done that like once or twice since we've been at home. But I think the biggest win for me, and one thing I want to remind people as a doula, hey, I want to remind people as a doula and a new mom, for all new moms, and even if you're a dad tuning into this is your moment to be selfish. This is your moment to create boundaries that work for you. It's okay if your boundaries switch tomorrow. But a part of your birth plan is supposed to set up what your postpartum is going to look like. So you have kind of like this, not curriculum per se, but you have something to go by and to refer to. Because I feel like I still have pregnancy brain. So, and with sleep deprivation a little bit, like you can tend to forget things. But it is going to be so pivotal to your healing to listen to your body and to create those boundaries. But also, I feel like this is the game changer. This is the biggest tip. Now, if you have tears from vaginal tearing, or if you were cut, this may not be as realistic. Gratefully, I didn't have to go through that, but I feel like it makes a difference. Even with my other friend, we had our babies 3 days apart. My baby has somebody to grow up with. She had a C-section, and I think when I realized this, I was like, haha, I think that's it. Start going outside. Start getting yourself some light, whether that's sitting on your porch, whether that's walking around the yard, whether that's going down the block and coming right back. My second week of postpartum, my doula came over. Dad was with baby, and instead of inviting her in first, I said, can you come take a walk with me around the corner? And that's what we did. We walked 4 corners, came back to the house, and I felt so refreshed. I felt really tired after. And mind you, when you're breastfeeding, that's equivalent to walking 7 miles a day. Even if you're not walking 7 miles a day, just breastfeeding, it equivalates to you walking 7 miles a day, using 25 to 30% of your body and your energy. So definitely be cautious and take small steps. But I realized after going on that walk that I needed the sun, I needed the vitamin D, I needed to feel air, I needed to be out of the 4 walls of my home. And when you're so active and you're going to work every day, or you're doing whatever you're doing every day and you're going out the house, changing that cycle drastically like that, going from outside and being active to just shutting yourself off for weeks. Now, that may be something you need, but for myself, I realized I needed to be outside. Even if my baby couldn't be outside, I need to be outside. And so my other friend, who we had our babies 3 days apart. So she's also stepping into her 5th week of postpartum. She called me yesterday and she was like, "Oh my God, Ashley, this is my first time outside and I do not want to go back home." Now, this is no shame to her at all because being a new mom is a lot. Her husband also went back to work, and so she's by herself with the baby. And when he does come home, she puts majority of the baby duty on herself because he has to get adequate amount of sleep. I commend that. So when she said that, I was just like, wow, I can't believe this is your first time outside. Like, oh my gosh. She was like, yeah, it's only been 2 hours. I went to go get my nails done. And I just feel so much better. Oh, there you go, baby. There you go, honey. There you go. Sorry, y'all. There you go, honey. All right. She was only out for 2 hours, and I totally understood where she was coming from, but I was like, you should start going outside just for a little bit, even if it's on your porch, because staying in, that's like, not to call it jail, but when you're in jail, they're locked down for 23 hours, 22 hours. They go outside for that little bit, but being confined in an indoor space and only seeing the same things every day, whether it's on the TV, whether it's going back and forth from the couch to the bedroom, that was my irritation. Like, oh my God, I've only got the bedroom, the bathroom, and the living room. I'm tired of cycling out of these few places. Going outside makes a difference. It will make a difference. It will make a difference. I want more people to do that. It's going to brighten up your day. But if you have those vaginal tears, what I would suggest is opening the blinds more or inviting people over. Now, of course, like, I haven't had many guests. I've only had my mom, my grandma, my godmom, my doula, and my best friend who was in town already from out of state. And she's been a part of my pregnancy journey. But to cut this a little short, that's the biggest takeaways I can say. Get outside. For dads, cater to the mother. This is something that the midwives told my partner. She was like, she's going to be babying the baby. You need to baby her. I felt like that was the most simplistic recipe to nurturing and healing. Trifold. Let the mom nurture the baby. Partner nurture the mom. Even if it's going to go run errands, whatever that is, cater to mom. Baby her because she's healing again. And I feel like when you have those things, so I'm going to recap. When you have someone assisting that can baby you and nurture you, your postpartum is going to be fabulous. When you set those boundaries for people who are going to be visiting, or for yourself, or just whatever your postpartum birth plan is, stick by it. Change it if you need to. It's going to change the game. And then going outside, that's going to change the game. Don't wait too late, because you'll feel like you just got out of jail and you may not want to go back home, and we don't want that to happen. We don't want you to get tired of baby, tired of being a new mom. And then lastly, if you notice you're having troubles latching, get a nipple shield. I got mine from Target. I did a pickup. Didn't even have to get out the car. They brought it out. And now I don't even have to use the nipple shield. My baby, we adapted to some relatching tools and techniques to the point that I don't have to use the nipple shields. But I do like using the nipple shield to assist with like cracking. So I haven't had any cracking or anything like that since I've been breastfeeding, thank God. And it's just been a lovely experience so far. Now I can be honest that I have been sad a few times. I have cried. I have felt sleep deprivation. I have felt like, oh my God, what's wrong with her? I can't put her to sleep. And, you know, it's just a trial and error thing. I realized, like, you know, my baby was kind of gassy. So learning when they're gassy, I've learned her crying cues now. And everybody's different. Every baby's different. Every bonding experience is going to be different. So I thank you guys for welcoming me in my 5th week, fresh, no makeup. I feel a little nutty that I'm on here without any makeup. Like, this is I think the rawest I've ever been on any social media platform. So thank you for welcoming me back. I'm going to upload a video where I went to my first birth workers conference this past weekend. So 4 weeks postpartum, I went to my first event ever, and it felt really good. So I want to share what that was like and how you can get in contact or become a part of some of the nonprofits that were there and some of the people that I met and some of the goals that I reached. So this is Positive Ashley, your favorite doula and master manifester, tuning out. Feel free to subscribe for the next upload about me being a mom. I'm going to be uploading more doula tips, tricks, and hacks, and, you know, just following my journey on Ashley's adventures. So peace and love. Bye. Thumbs up this video when you get a chance.